Hello, this is Headlines Nigeria on Internet Television International ITI. I am Rachel Owa. Here's what's making headlines in our national dailies. The major news in our national dailies is that President Goodluck Jonathan has asked the Senate to amend relevant sections of the 1999 Constitution and the 2010 Electoral Act to accommodate the new dates requested by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for the conduct of the 2011 polls. President Jonathan, in a letter to the Senate on Tuesday, urged them to fast-track the amendment, noting that he was in agreement with the INEC chairman, Professor Atahiru Jega, that the January date for 2011 general elections was not tenable. You will see headlines like Vanguard, Jonathan asks Senate reps to amend Constitution. The Nation, Jonathan writes Senate to amend Electoral Act. Compass, Jonathan asks NAS to amend Electoral Act. Now to Compass newspaper, Jonathan denies lockout of Igbo leaders at summit. There was anger in the land on Tuesday following Monday's disruption of the Igbo Political Stakeholders Conference in Owerri, the Imo State capital, by security agents. But President Goodluck Jonathan distanced himself from it, saying it was an abridgment of the fundamental rights of Nigerians in any form. To Daily Trust newspaper now, Kogi Assembly workers lock out lawmakers. Workers of the Kogi State House of Assembly on Tuesday embarked on an indefinite strike, locking out lawmakers from the Assembly complex. The lawmakers who came for the day's sitting left the complex to avoid assault. The workers said the resolve to go on strike following the expiration of a 4-week ultimatum given to the leadership of the House on salary-related issues. To the next newspaper now, Senate swears in 3 new senators as Chukwumerije Defects to PDP. As the Senate resumed from a 2-month recess on Tuesday, 3 senators were sworn in. The senators are Adamu Waziri and Adamu Ibrahim, both from Gombe State, and Hamed Al-Khali from Bauchi State. The 2 senators from Gombe are replacing the late senators Tawawada and Petu Duku, who died early this year, while Mr. Al-Khali is to replace Bala Muhammad, who is now the Minister of the FCT. Meanwhile, for the second time in just 2 months, Uche Chukwumerije has defected, this time to the People's Democratic Party. Mr. Chukwumerije, in a letter dated September 28 and addressed to the Senate President, notified the Senate of the change of party affiliation. To other stories now. Next newspaper, Jonathan orders security agencies to find kidnapped children. President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday ordered security agencies in the country to find the 15 nursery and primary pupils kidnapped on Monday in Aba, Abia State. To Daily Trust newspaper now, Nigeria at 50 awards. Jonathan excludes Murtala, Buhari, IBB and Abacha. Former heads of state Muhammad Buhari, Ibrahim Babangida and Sani Abacha have been excluded from the special Golden Jubilee Independence Anniversary Award on 50 distinguished Nigerians by President Goodluck Jonathan. However, next newspaper reports that Kano State will indeed honor Murtala and Abacha. The former heads of state who were indigenes of Kano State will be honored by the state government with a posthumous award as part of celebrations to mark Nigeria's 50th independence and the state's 43rd anniversary. To the Nation newspaper now, EFCC chair meets Nwodo in bid to stop 54 politicians. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC chairman Mrs. Farida Waziri is stepping up its battle to stop corrupt politicians from running for offices next year. From Daily Trust newspaper now, British Royal Navy officers in Nigeria for 50th anniversary celebrations. 800 officers from the British Royal Navy will participate alongside other naval officers of the world in the Nigerian Navy Presidential Fleet Review holding today at the Elegbeta Channel, Lagos. Other news headlines you will find on national dailies include Punch newspaper, PSC promotes 7 AIGs. Nation newspaper, Bankole Jega challenge workers on credible polls. We move over to business news now. We'll start with next newspaper. Government empowers local councils to set up power plants. The federal government took another step in its effort to reform the power sector by empowering state and local councils to go into power generation as a way of improving electricity supply in the country. To Punch newspaper now, rationalization. Federal government approves 130 billion naira for PHCN workers' benefit. Well, the paper reports that President Goodluck Jonathan has approved 130 billion naira for the payment of the terminal benefits of workers of the Power Holding Company of Nigeria who may be sacked in the ongoing reforms in the power sector. And in sports now, next newspaper, FIFA denies encouraging NFF to flout court orders. Football's world governing body FIFA has denied having prior knowledge of any court order barring the last elections into the board of the Nigeria Football Federation from taking place. From Daily Trust newspaper now, Chukwumerije Flying Eagles won't get complacent. Flying Eagles captain 14 Chukwumerije has said despite the team's 2-0 away victory over Mauritius in the first leg of the second round of the 2011 Africa Under-20 Championship in Libya, he and his teammates won't get complacent until the ticket is won. And to Compass newspaper, NFF to announce Eagles' friendly opponent today. Brazil confirm Iran, Ukraine. Nigeria Football Federation officials disclosed that they are to choose between Japan and Iran, who the Eagles will square up against on November 17. Well, whatever the choice is, we hope to definitely do better than the other sense best. That's in Headlines Nigeria. I am Rachel Owa. Thanks for logging on.